What? Trying to film. Hi guys, hope you're having a good day. I apologize if I sound a little weird. I do have killer allergies right now, but that we're gonna move forward anyway. So today's video is not quite on training and does not plan on including the dogs, but they might make up their own mind. They should be eating right now, but one of them is sitting right here staring at me, so it should be interesting. Today I want to talk to you about something that has kind of a lessons learned kind of theme for us. So that would be jealousy with dogs. So a little backstory. We got Pictus at 9 weeks roughly, and then 3 days later we got Nachi. And while we thought that we got them together, in a close enough time frame that they would just grow up together and be fine, there are little moments where it's very clear that either Pictus imprinted on the house before she did, and so he felt like she was coming in on his territory, or just the fact they both imprinted heavily on us because we were around them a lot as when they were puppies. So they the first night that we had Nachi, they got into like a little growling match kind of thing. But then by the end of the next day, they were best friends. And so by the end of the first week, they were sleeping together, napping together. They were playing together. It was not a big deal, which was great because Pictus is a purebred working line German Shepherd. He's got a lot of energy, a lot of toy drive, a lot of prey drive. Nachi, on the other hand, she's a Chow Chow Rottweiler mix. Not really a high prey drive, not really a high food drive. We were planning on doing Schutzen with her, but she's not interested in most toys. And again, she's not food motivated, so training has been interesting. So for the most part, we're just taking Pictus to Schutzen. It was fine for the first couple of weeks, and then I noticed as they were getting bigger, they were kind of fighting over lap space, right? So I'd sit down on the floor to play with both of them, and they'd start pushing each other out of the way. I didn't really think anything of it. I thought it was kind of cute, and I thought it was kind of funny. Until Pictus started stealing things from Nachi. So like I said, she's not highly toy driven, but she will chew on toys, she will try to play with toys, and he would steal them from her. Typical sibling rivalry. She'd be playing with something, he'd steal it. She'd go play with something else, he'd steal it, etc., etc., etc. And we probably should have been better about correcting this behavior as it started. And so it's a little bit on us that we've reached the point that we're at today. So we finally found this ball that Nachi would actually play with, like this tiny little ball, because she's got a tiny little mouth. And so she would play with it, and Pictus would try to steal it, and I would stop him because he steals everything of hers. And one particular night we were playing, he tried to interject, and she just went after him in a way that they'd never gone after each other before. I mean, they play rough sometimes, but this was not play. So we had to rip them apart. I took her upstairs because I was going to bed anyway, and Pictus stayed down here with Smitty. So the entire next day, they kind of avoided each other. It was kind of like, you get in a fight with your sibling, and then you don't want to talk to them the next day. It's kind of how it was with this. But by the end of the day, they got over it. They went back to playing like normal, and it wasn't a big deal. So they don't get this way with food. Like, they don't ever fight over food, which is good. There's no food aggression whatsoever in either of them. But they do it with toys, and they do it with humans. So Pictus has always been protective of me, and of Smitty as well. And Nachi really isn't necessarily protective yet, but her breed profile says that she probably will be. And that was the plan from the beginning, was to get very big protective dogs. So, Smid got, again, his working line German Shepherd, who at 7 months is 70 pounds and a freaking giant and can push his way into pretty much anything that he wants to. And I got what I thought was going to be a big dog, and at 6 months is 27 pounds. So, and she's adorable. Like, I wanted the dog that was scary looking that nobody wanted to pet, and no, she's adorable. Everyone wants to pet her, so I totally screwed up on that. But it's fine. Anyways, so since that day, we haven't really had a major problem with it. But it's definitely, they've gone after each other a little bit a couple times. And last night was kind of a highlight to me of how far we've come with the training, because the first time they went after each other, there was no verbally stopping it. Like I said, we literally had to physically pull them apart. The problem that we run into is that, like, when I come home, they'll still kind of argue over who gets to greet me, which again is on us because we haven't really trained them the whole sit away from the door and let people come in and whatnot. So fully take responsibility for it. But so last night when I came home, I was petting both of them, and Pictus started getting pretty growly with Nachi. But before it could turn into anything big, Smid corrected him verbally, and it stopped. And it was a moment of, yes, like, it's working. Like, we can verbally correct these dogs, and they actually correct instead of having to physically pull them apart. So like I said, it was a really, really good moment, but definitely a lesson learned on us. Like, we should have been correcting this very, very early on, but we weren't being very good about correcting it. And when I say we, I mostly mean me. I don't know how much of it Smid actually dealt with, just because Smitty is, you know, Pictus is Smitty's dog. This one made sense that they were always playing together. So I don't know if that's a theme there or not. It's really funny because Nachi will sleep in the bed with us, and, you know, I'd love if Pictus does too, but he's not for it. But he will sleep in bed sometimes, like cuddle and whatnot, and then he'll, like, jump out. But in the mornings, he wants cuddles. And so Nachi will sleep on the bed all night. No interest whatsoever in cuddling because she's kind of like a cat. Anyone that has a chow chow understands that. But so Pictus will wake me up in the morning, and I'll pull him up onto the bed and we'll cuddle as well. And, you know, Nachi used to, like, growl at him a little bit. They, like, get a little rambunctious before settling back down and whatnot. And now they've just both decided, instead of trying to fight each other, they're just going to try to smother me. So, again, Nachi won't cuddle all night. Pictus will come up and cuddle. And so then Nachi will come up and cuddle, but she's, of course, trying to get prime real estate on me. And so I end up with fuzzy dog in my face, which is fine. I just find it very, very humorous that that's how they react. Again, like, no jealousy when it comes to food. You know, toy drive is not high for her, so that one-off with the toys was really the only time she got really, really angry about it. Usually if we're playing fetch with him, because he can play fetch all day, she'll just kind of, like, play around with him, like, jump on him and stuff like that. But she doesn't really get angry about it, and, like, we try to play fetch with her, she just doesn't care. She's just not interested. Tried ropes with her when she was a little baby, and, like, same thing, she just was not interested in biting them. I've got a cat toy type theme that she does like, and I'm very, very careful about making sure that Pictus stays off of it, so that she can play with it. So that's good, and he's pretty much learned, like, when we say something's hers, that we mean it, and he doesn't really make a big deal about it. But yeah, so jealousy of the dogs. It's a real thing. It's been a lot of fun, and hopefully we will continue to mitigate it. If you like the content we're putting up, please do like and subscribe. In the description, there is a few links to some affiliate links to things that, like, we really, really enjoy. So one of the things being seat covers for your car. Like, I never really thought these were a need. I thought people who had them were just kind of, like, a little bit extra. And then we got a dog that gets car sick, and seat covers have been amazing. The ones that are in the link as well come with the clips to clip your dog into the seat, which are fantastic, helps keep them safe. And for Nachi, who doesn't understand that she's getting bigger and can't safely be in my lap when I drive, keeps her in the back seat without harming her. So really, really good thing to have. Really, really loving that we got them. And there's a few other links too that you can check out. So we'll catch you next time.